Hey y'all, and welcome to Monner's Market, and welcome to the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Challenge, a Trash to Treasure compilation that is being put together today by Broke Girl Asthetic. She is absolutely amazing, and she has challenged us to make some things from something we would have normally just thrown away. So that's what I've done, and this is my DIY number one. This is a little birdhouse that I literally had in the trash pile. This is what it looked like, pitiful. The top was broken, and it was just ugly. It was just ugly. Now, I made this way back in March, right after I had just gotten out of the hospital with my open heart surgery. So you will see lots of bandages and bruises and things like that, but I could not wait to get home and get to crafting back then. So I went back in my videos and found some things that I had used to do just that, turn it from trash to treasure. Everything in here, I was just literally going to throw away. So I start with this little birdhouse by gluing the top back together because it was broken, and I cleaned it up before I started this video, but I went ahead and took it all apart, took all the pieces off that needed to come off so that they could be fixed. Now, this truffle paint by Waverly, the chalk paint, is what I used to go in on the very bottom, the bottom of the stand, and also the little legs that hold the birdhouse up on the stand. And I painted all of that with this truffle. Once that dried, oh, and I did the lid also, or the top of the roof. That's the word, roof. Did the roof of the house. So after I painted it with the truffle, I do go back in and dry brush it all down with some Ivory chalk paint by Waverly. Now, this was part of, and several things in this video was part of me redoing my bathroom recently in a lavender theme. This is me going in with that Ivory chalk paint and sort of just dry brushing it to distress it a little bit because I love farmhouse. Like, if you are here from this playlist today and you've never been to my channel, I do things other than farmhouse, but I love farmhouse. Like, my house is all done in farmhouse. Now, this purple color right here, this petunia purple, was the base color on this little birdhouse. Excuse me. And then I will go back in after this and use a darker purple by Waverly that it wasn't a chalk paint. I think it was an acrylic paint. And then I will go over that. I dry brushed it with a darker purple. And then I dry brushed it again once that was all dry with the Ivory paint from Waverly. And that was pretty much all I wanted to do paint-wise for the top of the birdhouse. Once I did that, I also took the little bird that I got from the Dollar Tree and had in my stash for forever. And the bird was cute, but it had this really bright yellow belly that just was not going to match anything in my bathroom. So I took that same Ivory chalk paint and just covered all of that yellow up. Now, this bird was already mainly purple, so I went in with the same brush that I'm putting the Ivory paint on to cover up that yellow and just sort of dry brushed all over to sort of just kind of bring it all together and make it look like the little birdhouse. So I got that on there, and then I took this little, what is that, the bird's nest, I guess, and dry brushed it with that same the Ivory chalk paint by Waverly. And then it was just a matter of putting it all back together. And once I put it back together, got everything all glued back down, I took some moss, what is it called? Reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. And you will see me in just a minute glue some of that reindeer moss down to the very bottom. There it is, to the bottom of the little stand that holds the birdhouse up. And I love that addition of that greenery. It just made it so much prettier, in my opinion. And I was so glad in the end that I did not trash this and throw it away. Now, I didn't bother with putting any kind of flour or anything back on top of the roof, but I did go in and just stick a little couple of pieces of the lavender that you can get from the Dollar Tree down in the bottom, just because it just kind of brought it all together with the bathroom remodel that I was doing back then. And that was literally all there was to saving this little thing from the garbage man. And this is what we started with right here, a before picture, and this is what it looked like when I was all done. So make sure you leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about this little saved birdhouse that was destined for the garbage. I absolutely love the way it turned out, and I was so glad that I changed my mind and pulled it out of the trash, because it, like I said, was literally already in the trash. It was a clean bag, so I didn't mind reaching down in it and pulling it out. So give me a big thumbs up if you like this little birdhouse. Now we are going to go right on into the next little piece that was saved from the trash. And this was super duper duper easy. It's just my towel rack. This towel rack was with the birdhouse in the trash bin, and I thought, why do I need to go buy another one when there's nothing wrong with this except for the color won't match anymore? I mean, literally, it is 20 years old, but I gave it some of that Ivory chalk paint, and I just sort of heavily dry brushed it. And when I say heavily dry brushed it, I just didn't give it a good thick coat of paint. And you'll see right here whenever I do the close-up what I mean. But I did want to just throw this in there because I literally pulled this out of the trash and gave it a little facelift, and voila, I didn't have to go spend $10 or $15 on a new towel rack for my bathroom. So let me know what you think about that little project. Now let's just jump right on into DIY number 3. These little birds I did have in my bathroom before I decided to do it all in the Ivory. Now I lost the footage of me actually painting these, but you really probably didn't want to watch me anyway. I did one in this beautiful coastal sage green color. I did one of them in this French lilac, and these are all spray paints by Rust-Oleum, and then the last one in this Satin Almond. Just gave them a really good coat of paint outside, and this is what they look like, and they were cute, but I thought it needed a little bit more. Now, excuse the video that you're about to see of me doing what I'm doing. I did take the Ivory on the green and the purple one and dry brushed all over it to sort of bring out all of the detail. Now, I have to be honest with you, I was literally right out of surgery, just coming home after a day or two, and was on some pain medication, and I thought I was doing a good job back then. So y'all excuse the fact that I am so out of focus and so out of frame, and just roll with me. Just humor me and roll with it, because you will see that it was worth saving these from the trash. Actually, I wasn't going to trash these. I was going to send them to Goodwill. But I'm so glad that I changed my mind, and I'm so glad that I pulled them out of that Goodwill box and gave them a little facelift, because I love, love, love the way they turned out. Now, with this Satin Almond one, I did use the truffle paint by Waverly to bring out all of the little details in that. So I used Ivory on the other two, and I used truffle on this, and this is what the three of them looked like before we got started, and the bottom picture is the after. So let me know what you think about the way this little facelift turned out. And I absolutely love, love, love the fact that I did not send these to the Goodwill and was greedy and kept them and gave them a little facelift. I love the colors. Those three colors are what I did my bathroom in. Now, this is just a small little table in the kitchen that I set it up on to show you, but I'm going to show you right now what they look like actually in the bathroom on the little table that I have everything set up on in my bathroom. My bathroom is very large, so I was able to just put a whole spread in there, and I love the way it turned out. And this is what it looks like in the bathroom on that table that I was telling you about. Look at the detail there. I'm telling you, I love the way these turned out. I had probably about 10 pieces to this little collection here that were birds and other, I guess this is what, ceramic maybe? I don't know, but they were all in those darker green and blue colors that you saw in the before picture. But I love the way this turned out. Now let's jump right on into DIY number 4. This little mirror right here could not have been quicker and easier to put together. It matched everything in before, but it definitely did not match everything after I redid my bathroom. So it was just as simple as taking it apart, wiping it down with a wet rag and giving it a good dusting and cleaning. I tore it all apart, and you will see me here in just a second go in, and it was so easy to give this little thing a facelift. And what I did is on the jeweled part on the front, you'll see me flip it over here in just a second after I remove that little sticker there. It had orange jewels all over it. And while that was cute and worked before, it would not have gone in my bathroom at all. There it is right there, the gold and the orange little jewels. So I just took that Ivory paint by Waverly and just dry brushed right over it and covered up 90% of that gold and 100% of those little orange beads. And on the actual wood part, I did go in and distressed a little bit around, or dry brushed, distressed it. You'll see me do that here in just a second, and added a little bit more character and depth to this little frame. And then it was just as easy as putting it all back together and gave it a super cute little facelift. This one was also already in the little trash bin. Now I keep saying trash bin. What I had was a box that I was putting things in that I was not going to keep. So like I said, everything in this video is something that I pulled back out of that box, either the trash box or the Goodwill box. And this one was actually in the trash box because it was not going to work with me color-wise anymore. But look how cute it turned out after I gave it that little facelift. I absolutely adore this now. I never really cared for this to begin with. The gold and the orange, I don't know. I don't even know why I bought it to begin with. I bought it at a thrift shop years ago. But after I finished it, now it's actually one of my favorite pieces in my bathroom. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this little facelift, and if you like the way it turned out, or would you have just kept it in the trash pile and let it go on to La La Land or wherever they take it to. So I put it back together, and that's all there was to it. And this is what it looks like hanging back up on the wall. And I think it is just adorable. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's sitting on that same shelf in the kitchen just for me to stage it for you to see what it looked like. I thought I took a video of it actually hanging on the wall, but oh well. It is what it is, and you see what I'm talking about. Look at it. I mean, it just completely gave it a whole new look. You can't see any of the orange anymore. You can only see enough of that gold to really give some depth and detail into this whole little mirror. So now that you've seen that, let's jump right on into the last one, DIY number 5, this cute little basket that I am using now for my little wash rags in my bathroom. I love the way this thing turned out. It was just this old basket that I want to say was in the bottom of my cabinet. I honestly don't remember, that I took this French lilac paint And I knew that I wanted to make it look like a little old-fashioned bathtub, and it had the perfect curvature to it to kind of make it look like a little bathtub. So once I got it painted in this French lilac, I took that same paintbrush that I used. You'll see me painting the little feet to it in just a minute, and it still had quite a bit of paint left on it. So I just dry brushed that paint onto the top of this French lilac color, and I love the way it turned out and looked after I picked it up off the floor where I just dropped it. But I love the way it turned out by just giving it that little bit of attention with that white or ivory dry brushing. So then I actually had already painted these, but I'm going to show you how I painted them. It's just the little legs. I'd wish these legs would have been a tiny bit bigger, but that's all I had on hand at the time, and it ended up working perfectly. They turned out just as cute as they could be. So I flipped it over and decided where I wanted the little feet and hot glued them on there. And 2 or 3 months later, it's still just as strong and sturdy as it can be in the bathroom. And I love the way this turned out. So the only thing left for me to do after I put the feet on was to make me a little swag, if you will, to go onto the front of it with all of the colors of the lavenders and purples that I was using in my bathroom to redo it. Now, if you want to see that video, I will link it down below because that was a lot of hard work, and I love the way my bathroom turned out. It actually turned out beautiful, and I had a lot of comments on the way everybody liked how it turned out. So I'll definitely link that below for you to be able to go back and watch if you're interested in what all this purple stuff kind of came together to look like. Now, this is me making my little swag. I just used some ribbons and stuff, and I was trying to figure out which one of those I wanted to use, and I ended up going with that sort of flowery looking one, not the rose, but the other one. Put my little swag all together and hot glued it to the side, and that was it. It was done and super quick and easy, and I love the facelift that this gave. I'm glad I was going to send this to the Goodwill. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I kept it. As with everything that I redid today for this video, I was super excited that I ended up keeping it, and it saved me a lot of money on having to go buy things to replace where all of this stuff would have gone. So I want to say everything I had for this video I had on hand. I don't think I paid a dime for anything in this video. So I definitely reduced, recycled, and reused for this video that I'm bringing to you right now. And this is all I have for you. All 5 of my little saved pieces from the trash or the Goodwill. And if you are here from the playlist and this is your first time, my name is Brenda. This is Monner's Market. My grandkids call me Monner, and I treasure that name. So that's what I named my YouTube channel, my Instagram page, and my Facebook page after. You can find me on all 3 of them at Monner's Market. I would love for you to give me a big thumbs up if you like what I've done today. If you're not subscribed to my channel, come on over and join my family. I would love to have you. But definitely leave me a comment and let me know what you think about how I did today. And I just want to thank Broke Girl Asthetic for allowing me to join this challenge today and show you how you can take trash